That was Ian Burns and the Boundary Rider. It's Tracy and the Big D here on a Wednesday night. Well, our next guest, James Stewart Keene, has got a brand new single out, co-written by Alan Caswell, and the Jonas Road frontman Jay Colley was involved with doing that with the production side of it, and Jonas Road band member Rodney Auld on guitars. So a cavalcade of stars, and James joins us now. Congratulations on the new single, James.
Oh, thanks, Big D. Lovely to be on the show,
mate. The one thing that when I listen to the song, it's about Coal Town and the dying of the coal town. But I reckon the people from the timber of Maryborough or the gold of Gympie and whatever could relate to their town dying, so to speak, as a result of what's gone.
Oh, for sure, and I think that's one of the great things about the song is look, you can change the coal part of it and turn it into something else, but I think it's a universal theme that a lot of people out there, a lot of communities are going through at the time. In manufacturing or even in agriculture is seeing a bit of a decline, and unfortunately it's commodity prices that do that. Unfortunately the bottom line speaks very loud, and unfortunately there are a lot of towns out there that are losing their industry, and I think the song really talks about that.
And it does talk about it, but it talks about it in a way that we spoke to, I can't even think of her name now, the blonde girl. Oh, the blonde girl, she's going to hate me for saying that. Becky Cole. We spoke to her a couple of weeks ago about her song, Rebecca, and it was about a story of her life, and she's looking back, and we were expecting this quiet, slow, sad sort of a song, and I think we were expecting, reading into this, thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be a storyteller one where it's quiet and slow, where it's not, and it's a fantastic surprise because you still get the emotion, the feeling, you get the story across, but you've also given us a tempo and a bit of a higher feeling with the song as well. Is it something you set out to do?
Yeah, look, one of the big things I want to do with the new stuff I'm working on is to get a real middle of the road type of album. And Coal Town, working with Jay Colley, I think it's really setting the tone for what's going to come within the next year when we finish the album. And yeah, it is. I mean, look, it's a song that I wanted to really do for a long time, but when I took it to Alan Caswell, he really switched on to what I was trying to achieve with the song.
Yep.
And it just, I think we've nailed it. I'm really happy with it. It is a great song. It's catchy. It is uplifting in some ways with the tempo, but it is a serious subject, for a lot of people. I think they can relate to it.
Yeah.
And people will relate to things like there's a line in there, and I can't say it verbatim, but it was along the lines of they're pulling the stack down because people want to view or what. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's exactly what happens. People say, "Oh no, you better pull that tree down because
I can't see."
Yeah, because I can't see.
Yeah. Well, the line is, the line says, and the nice folks pulled our cottage down for a nice view of the sea, and I think that imagery is really Wollongong. I grew up in Bulli. If anyone down there or up there knows the Wollongong region, it's quite a unique sort of town because it's, on one aspect you're right on the beach, and then on the other hand you're in the bush. And a long time ago, Wollongong and Bulli and places like that were country towns, and central to that was the coal mining industry. And even growing up in the 70s and 80s, when the mines were still open, it was you still felt like you were in a country town, but it's really changed. Like you can't get a house in Bulli, Scarborough, Coaldale, all those sort of places for under $1 million now, because there are killer views there, unfortunately, depending on who you are, but half your luck if you can afford that. But it's a town that's changed a lot. There's a lot of people from Sydney coming. So the working class sense of the town has really changed. And I guess that's what those kind of lines talk about. Get a sense of, there's not much history left in the town now. And I guess that's what the song laments about. My family's been in the Bulli region for 160 years. And, there's a reason why we've been there. And, you just notice how things change. And that's really what the driver of the song has been about.
And it's quite funny, you sort of just mentioned there, like your family's been there 160 years. So if you want to take it right back, you're sort of going a full circle, really, because right back then, say 160, 200 years ago, we could see the beach. And then all of a sudden, all these, as you mentioned, 20 mines came in, and then the buildings went up, and then we couldn't see the beach. And now we're turning it back around, where we're knocking those silos down, we're knocking the buildings down, and we're going back and we're seeing the beach again. So everything does do a circle. And through those different years, every 50 years, you could write a completely different song about what's happening in the village at the time.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's just a snapshot. It's just it's something passionate. I mean, Coal Town, that's, because of that family connection. I've had family members die in the coal industry. In fact, my great uncle was killed in the second biggest mining disaster in Australia, which was the 1887 mine disaster. So, it's having just when you live in a place like Bulli, you being there for so long, you get connected to a place, and I think that was part of really the inspiration of why I wanted to do the song.
How can we get a hold of it if we're out there listening right now?
It's going to be up on iTunes from the 10th of August, and we're doing a music video, so hopefully that'll be out on TV ASAP. So we're about to actually shoot that in the next week or two.
Congratulations on the new single. Good to catch up with you, James, and here it is now, Coal Town.